Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, January 28th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and the NQ. So first things, I will not be here the next 2 days, so there'll be no videos Wednesday or Thursday. Please keep in mind, you have the Fed tomorrow, then you have big tech earnings tomorrow night. And then Thursday night, you have Apple earnings, okay? And then we have PCE Friday morning. I will be back Friday. I would advise trading tomorrow as a regular trading day up until 2 o'clock. Now, for those of you who have followed me a long time, I rarely trade after 2 because first, the knee-jerk reaction, regardless of whether, even though they know there's not going to be a rate cut, and then again during this press conference. A lot of times you don't get the more directional move until they digest it, and it comes Thursday. So along with Tesla, Facebook, Microsoft earnings, and then the digestion of the Fed press conference, Thursday could be your busier day. Please keep that in mind. What happened today is very positive, but please keep this in mind. All we did was put the daily back into balance in NQ, and ES was in balance. Remember, yesterday came into balance. Well, it's still balanced. And we stress this. There's no way these gaps are being taken out without a very, very strong trend day. Well, NQ had a quadruple trend day up until the last couple of minutes. It held a triple distribution day up and still held $5 of that gap. ES only had a small double distribution. They failed multiple times to go triple distribution, but they did cut into their gap a lot. They're only down to 17 handles. So yes, it's very impressive what transpired today, but all it was having an underlying short covering bid the entire day, basically. Okay? That's it. Volume is very weak. Again, 40 million in SPY. I mean, it's just, volume's just been horrible. But the ranges were excellent. $8 in ES and over $11 in NQ. Again, we would love to have volume and range, but boy, oh boy, if we have to have one of them, it certainly is range. Okay? I would probably use NQ now. Actually, we'll look on the chart. I'll show you. It'll be a lot easier. What type of balances I would call them, especially since I won't be here the next couple of days. I had a decent day. 8 period turned out initially to be very positive for shorts. Okay? I took a short to get the overnight low, which worked out very nice. There were some nice ebb and flow shorts. Okay? However, I did get caught on one when they really started pushing up in A. Now, I did not give back the time frame, but I gave back some, so that was short. Then I took the long to pop A's high, so that paid nicely. And then in C period, I was taking longs with ebb and flow and against the single prints. I missed, well, first let's do D period. D period, I actually lost money. I thought we were going to get the IB high finally. Well, it came in. They played a little head fake and came in, so I lost on that. I missed F period. I had just gotten back with my lunch, but I was writing down some numbers. I looked up and boom, F had taken out B. And I didn't expect F to also rip as hard as it did. But again, that was a case of an underlying bid from short covering. My last 2 trades were in ES. I took a short in ES to fill the single prints in E period. Never filled them, but I got paid. And I took a long in ES in J period. Actually, I only got a couple points out of it, but I nailed it. The low of that time frame is 75. I longed it at 84. Boy, oh boy, should have held it. I could have made 21 handles. But again, I had NQ. That gap was so large, and even though we had the 3 distributions and then 4, it was just tough to get involved. I wanted to long NQ and J, but around the 500 level. It would have been closer to the 144 at that point. And also would have been a better risk reward against if they filled the single prints to add. So that's why I didn't buy them up here. So I got picky, But again, we talk about the wider the range, you better play small and widen your stop. So in my case, I get pickier looking for a better entry. That's all. So if I miss it, I miss it. So it's a good day overall. Quickly with destinations, ES 0550 is today's high, and the gap gets filled at 22 from yesterday. Pullback is 83.75. Single print is 60 to 59.50, and today's low is 23.50. Decent buy tail, by the way. 15 handles in ES. NQ's buy tail is $3. Look at this. So it is positive, but again, it's just short covering for the most part. The other thing we talked about earlier is you shouldn't get away from this wide overnight POC unless the market is fairly strong one way or the other. Well, initially, it was strong to the downside when they got the overnight lows, and then we just blew through it on the way back up in A period, tested it in B, that was it. So the market was very strong to the upside. We spent no time there whatsoever. SPY's destination, 605.37 is today's high, filling the gap at 606.80. Afternoon pullback, 603.23. Single print, 600.78 to 94. And today's low of 597.25. They did not get their 11-wide POC yesterday. ES did. Now let's go to these charts and just go over a couple of things since I won't be here the next couple of days, okay? So let's go to ES first. So again, we have 3 days left in this month. It's basically a 2-month balance. Unless we got more of a push down over the last 3 days, I'd probably call it a 2-month balance. And it's the weekly is balance also. It's an 8-week balance. It's your 2 months. So this is a market still waiting for MGI on the longer time frames. And the daily is balance. Remember, markets don't go bull bear or bear bull. So we went bull, balance yesterday, and I'm calling this balance. Now, some people might say, well, if you're calling this balance, why don't we call it back to bull? And the reason for that for me is because we still have that island top, and I would much rather see us take out these 3 daily highs before I would call the daily back up. I have no problem if you want to call it up, because yesterday was balance, but for me, I'm going to call it a balance of 1, 2, 3, 6, an 8-day balance. And then NQ real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. That was NQ. Jeez, I'm losing my mind. This whole thing was NQ. I apologize. So balance on the monthly, 2 months. I thought ES was a 3-month balance. We'll get to them. Weekly is 8 weeks, and the daily is balanced. Now, for sure, they're balanced in NQ because NQ was down yesterday. I apologize. So today, firmly put it back into balance. Okay, so again, it's an 8-day balance. There's no way I would call them up. Now, let's see the S&P. The monthly, it is a 3-month balance. See that? They took out more of November's range, so I would call it a 3-month balance. And there's a potential for an outside month up or down over these next 3 days if we get any violent moves. Last month's range was only $19. This market, the way it moves, that could happen. So it's a 3-month balance. Weekly is balance. This whole thing is balance on the weekly. And the daily, again, I'm going to call it balance. Okay? But unlike unlike NQ, yes, they just came into balance, and I'm going to still call it balance until we take out the all-time high. Hope you all had a good day trading. Thanks so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Good luck over the next couple of days. Play it smart. Use the MGI, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Friday.